Beautiful good evening to all. From the manual writing, paperwork, and heavy files, we have moved to the digital world by leaps and bounds. Today, as part of our stride into the digital world, under the patronage of our Chief Commissioner Shri Shyamraj Prasad and the brainchild and guidance of Commissioner CGST Kochi Shri Manish Kumar and Commissioner Audit Dr. Tiju, we are here to launch two applications which will be useful to all the officers for smooth and efficient working. The first app, the CCA app, which has been named Esevanidhi, has been developed by the Kochi GST Commissionerate, more so the brainchild of Manish Kumar sir. This application has been envisaged for creating a database of officers working under Thiruvananthapuram zone. Complete data in respect of officers will be available at the click of a button. After the launch of this application Esevanidhi, the administration will be able to access the details of each officer in this zone. The second app is the GAKMS app, the GST Audit Knowledge Management System app, which has been named as the Lekhasamhitha app, developed by Audit Commissionerate, the brainchild of Tiju sir, for ease of conduct of audit, for collation and organic search of audit points. This app will be an excellent toolkit for the auditors when they go out for the conduct of audit. The broad details of this app will follow in the presentation. Now coming back to the program, I request all of you to please stand for silent prayer. Thank you. May I now request Commissioner CGST Kochi Shri Manish Kumar sir to deliver the welcome address.
Namaskaram. A warm good evening to everyone who have gathered here to celebrate the success of hard work of all our officers of Thiruvananthapuram zone by launching two applications, namely Esevanidhi and Lekhasamhitha. These two applications are a demonstration of the hard work put together by all the officers of Thiruvananthapuram zone. We are here to appreciate the hard work of our officers who on their own initiative to improve the work and contribute to a larger goal of efficient act administration has made these applications. Leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. Leadership is all about providing the right environment which enables everyone to achieve their best individually and collectively. Shri Shyamraj Prasad, Chief Commissioner Thiruvananthapuram Zone, who is the source of inspiration of these initiatives and without whose leadership these projects would not have been complete. Sir, you set target for us, which we themselves are not sure that we will achieve. You walk along with us all along as part of team, motivating us, pushing us to achieve more at the same time, ensuring that we stay comfortable. These projects have seen light of the day only because of your constant support and encouragement. These projects will go a long way to improve the work in establishment, administration and audit. I would like to request all of you to join me to welcome our chief guest, Shri Shyamraj Prasad, Chief Commissioner of Thiruvananthapuram Zone. I welcome you, sir, for this occasion to celebrate the success of our. I would also like to welcome Commissioner of Custom Preventive. Sir, you have provided constant support and solidarity in everyday work. We reach out to you for guidance. I welcome Shri Rajendra Kumar, Commissioner of Custom Preventive. I would also like to welcome all our staff of CGST Kochi and CGST Audit Kochi who are joined in person to celebrate the occasion. We are able to cherish this moment of success because of hard work put together by each one of you. I welcome all the staff of CGST Kochi and CGST Audit Kochi. Last but not the least, I would also like to welcome all our staff of CBIC who have joined using electronic medium. Would have loved to have you join in person. So I welcome all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now we come to a brief presentation of the two apps. The first is the Esevanidhi app, the CCA app. No, sir, we'll just shift here. So one chair this side, one chair that side. Two chairs that side.
CCA and
So who is Brahman? You are McIntyre.
So this is the cadre controlling application. This is in its nascent stage, and so there is not much into the application. Here the complete data of the profile of each and every officer in Thiruvananthapuram zone will be covered. This app is created, actually the brainchild of the commissioner under the patronage of Shyamraj Prasad sir. We have the project team here, the Commissioner, Kochi Commissionerate, Manish Kumar sir with Anwar Ali sir, Additional Commissioner, Senthil Kumar sir, S. Suresh, Assistant Commissioner, and there was the backing and support of the systems, and team administration officers. Now all the officers in these formations will be covered, all officers in Chief Commissioner's office, Thiruvananthapuram Commissionerate, Kochi Commissionerate, Kozhikode, Customs Preventive Commissionerate, Audit Commissionerate and Appeals Commissionerate. All the officers will be updating their profile in this app. The purpose of this app is to create a database of all the officers working. The data will be all the data, that means it is the complete history of the officer, postings, educational qualification, the previous experience, the residential address and the promotion details of all the trainings attended by the officer. Everything will be entered in this app. And this data will be all the officers, the user will be the officers. These data will be verified by their AOs in the offices in which they are working with the service book. And then this data can be used for the transfer and posting, which will be very beneficial because knowing the complete data of the officers. Now this is how the workflow will be. The user is the officer. The officer will be entering the details, all details of, and then forwarding it to the verification officer. The verification officer will be in the division or range will be the AO of that division range. In the headquarters, it will be the AO of the headquarters. And from there it will be forwarded to the forwarding officer. Again, the forwarding officer will be the AC of the division, if it is a range or division officer, and in the headquarters it will be the AC of the respective officer's section or the headquarters AC. And from then on it will go to the CCA for the application processing. All these will be entered by the user, that is his official details, personal details, educational qualification, history of posting, details of promotions, training attended, awards received, and the filling up of the pro forma for annual general transfer. Later on, there will be some more additional places added up. That will be, you will be adding all the IPR and everything in the later stage. This is how the officer will be logging in. The domain name is esevanidhi.in. He will create his user ID. A PAN number of every officer is the user ID, and once he enters a PAN number, he will be getting a self-generated password. He will be generating his password, and from then on he can log in. These are the reports that can be generated from this app. That is the disposition list of the staff, the retirement list, seniority list, category list, station seniority, willingness for DGGI, DRI, NASN, Kavarati, and willingness for ICT within the zone. Now I request our Chief Commissioner sir to please launch this app. Sir, please there. So just press the enter, just press. Yes sir, yes sir, just press. Yes sir, yes sir. Yes sir. Thank you, sir. That's for the first step. Now the next app, the Lekhasamhitha app, the GAKMS app. I call upon Commissioner Audit Dr. T. Tiju to present the intricacies and usefulness of the app.
Respected Chief Commissioner Sir, Shyamraj Prasad Sir, dear colleague Manish, Commissioners CCP Rajendra Kumar Sir, my dear colleagues in the department who are watching me live, online as well as offline. Lekhasamhitha is an app which was developed by CGST Audit Kochi. Today, as we launch it, we feel happy that it was purely because of the effort of the officers, along with the type of encouragement that our Chief Commissioner Sir has given us. It was dragging on for some time. He set us targets. He pushed us to the brink that we could do it today. And thanks to you, sir, this has come out really well. And our officers, including the Additional Commissioner, Madam C.R. Rani, the Additional Commissioner C.R. Rani, the Assistant Commissioner Mr. Sabu Sebastian, Mrs. Maya Chandran, the superintendents and the inspectors, as well as their staff, who have helped bring out this application, which is said to have usefulness pan-India. Without much ado, let me go on to a short presentation on Lekhasamhitha or GAKMS, GST Audit Knowledge Management System. It is basically audit content organized in a very systematic manner. Only officers who are mapped from the back end are allowed to log in. It is not a public user portal, and hence it will be the responsibility of the office to add officers, and only they can log into the system. The user dashboard, of course, right now only Cochin has onboarded, so only Kerala and Lakshadweep are on board. But otherwise, it is envisaged to cover the whole of India. It has applications mainly in the form of identification of issues or audit paras identified by any of the audit formation across India, which are categorized into sectors, subsectors, and issues. You can select the sector, the subsector, and then it will show up the entire list of issues which have been identified by any of the audit formation in India, which will be listed out in a descending order of the number of times they have been detected in India, in any of the formations. So based on that priority, the auditor will be able to understand that this is the core point that he will have to look into in that particular sector. It can also be sifted or filtered based on the state, because there are various issues which are state specific. So there is an option given there which will sift out only the issues identified from a particular state or multiple states, so that an auditor from a particular state can identify which are more important in his context. Of course, if you give all, it will give a comprehensive list of all the issues identified. Each of these issues, you can see a dummy over there. Each of these issues will show who has added this, which commissionerate or state has added this, which is the date, because it is very relevant, because many of the audit points are relevant to a particular date. It will also show the amount of detections and the amount of recoveries made from that particular point by various formations. It will also show an article which is attached to it, which is a standardized article based on which you will understand the crux of the issue, the sections involved, so that when you come up with a shock cause notice on a issue, using this issue, it is very easy to create a shock cause notice, because the issue with the sections are all covered there. You just need to add them point by point into the shock cause notice to make a shock cause notice. Next point, please. This is how you add the issues. Let me go forward. The access is given both to the user as well as to the access depending on the permissions given. A person can access not only the user area but also the administrative area. Each commissionerate will be given an access from which they can create joint and additional commissioners, assistant commissioners below their joint and additional commissioners, and the auditors who can be superintendents and inspectors below these assistant commissioners. The articles also can be added into the system, which has an article directory incorporated into this, which will be connected to the issues relevant to that particular article. The articles can also show various aspects, as we mentioned, including various keywords, tags, and sections. An organic search mechanism has been integrated into the system, by which you can add based on keywords, tags, and sections as well, to identify which are the commonest areas of problem that has been identified, or the commonest sections that have been incurred. Next. Next. This is how a tag list will look like. You will be able to identify the number of tags that has been added to the system, and it will show in a descending order of the number of times it has been attached or identified. Next. The section list also will remain the same, almost similar to this, which are the commonest sections which have been identified when you go for audit. Next. Advanced search has been incorporated, wherein based on a keyword or a date, you will be able to identify that keyword from any of the articles or sections, tags, or reference material. Reference material has also been added, which helps the auditor to understand various issues in case of any doubt, which is also included in a searchable format for ease of convenience. Next is, yes, this is in a nutshell the organic knowledge management system, which is a system-based collective knowledge base, which will ensure uniformity, transparency, standardization of issues and paragraphs and paras, which will give an exhaustive list of identified issues, and it will give you a perspective based on the number of cases booked, the quantum, and the recovery. It will give you reports based on various parameters, and an easy search facility based on keywords, which will no doubt be a very handy tool for auditors when out on audit, because you cannot carry audit bulletins when you go out on audit. This is available online, so this can be immediately used, accessed by using any device. This includes a reference material like the Audit Manual 2019, GSTM 2019. It also contains model templates and audit instructions both from the center, from DG Audit as well as from the local commissionerates. This has a individual commissionerate-wise management, wherein the individual commissionerate can identify, can create their users and decide the permissions as to who will manage what. They will manage officers, update issues and articles, and permissions will be given by each of the commissionerates based on which the system will work. So the entire thing is totally decentralized, which can be used by each of these commissionerates, which will give an entire picture of what audit is doing and what are the audit paras identified in the whole of India. It can be used by the central GST, that is CBIC, as well as any of the states in India who are doing GST audit. Kerala state has already requested us that this could be a useful tool for them as well. So do we need a live demo? It is there in case there are a few.
For time formats, I think.
No, then we'll skip it, sir. This is the audit management, the Lekhasamhitha, the GST audit management system. Our officers have been sitting for the last 1 week for adding data into it, and ADG Audit Delhi has requested that they will be sending all the audit bulletins of the previous period, whether we can add all those audit bulletins to it so that it can be a reference material for all the officers across India. So we have checked up, and our officers were very happy to agree to the proposal that they will be able to add all those details in a standardized format. Thanks to all of you, the GST audit knowledge management system will be live today, and I request our beloved Chief Commissioner, who has been the driving force behind this entire initiative, to please launch the application. Sir.
Combining the power of search in GST. Presenting GAKMS, the GST Audit Knowledge Management System, titled Lekhasamhitha, the auditor's toolkit for an effective GST audit. It combines an exhaustive checklist by covering all the GST audit formations in the country and covering all the months of GST audit till date. It is envisaged to be an exhaustive checklist covering all identified issues in GST audit till date. Envisaged to bring in uniformity, it can standardize issues and paras, bringing in transparency in audit, and bringing in convenience with the information always available at your fingertips, whether be in your office or on audit at the taxpayer. It's always available on your PC, laptop, tablet, or even on your mobile. It's a fully decentralized system for administration and updations. The system looks beyond the realm of artificial intelligence and ushers in the wealth of artificial experience in GST audit. with search, priority-wise, trend-wise, with articles, references, and reports, standardizations, and integration of relevant sections, and thus easy generation of shoppers' notices. The system-based collaborative memory will unleash the power of collective collaboration and research. Presenting before you GST Audit Knowledge Management System GAKMS titled Lekhasamhitha by CGST Audit Kochi 2022.
Wow.
Privilege in inviting Chief Commissioner of Central Tax, Central Excise and Customs, Shri Shyamraj Prasad, to deliver the presidential address.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues and friends. All my senior colleagues, commissioners, additional commissioners, joint commissioners, assistant commissioners, deputy commissioners, and all other colleagues. It's really a delightful moment for all of us that we are here to end this financial year of 2021-22 with a really magnificent note that I think what we had conceived 3 months back in the form of Project Sadit is coming to an end today. And there cannot be any other person more than happier to me by saying that I think whatever targets had been set by all of you along with me have been achieved with great applause. So I think you all deserve a lot of applaud and patting. Of course, being a head of the family, I get the maximum fun and amusement and happiness out of the targets which have been achieved so easily and comfortably by each one of you. I'm really, really heartily grateful to all of you, and it's my heartfelt gratitude to the efforts made by each one of you in achieving this Project Sadit with such a good results. Why this date has been chosen for launching of these two magnificently developed apps is that we had already conceived 3 months back to just bring forth some IT revolution in our day-to-day dealings also. And one day, Mr. Manish Kumar just walked into my room saying that we are all facing a lot of difficulties, and even I had experienced too in the state of Kerala, finding a correct history of postings in respect of each officers while deciding the transfer and posting in annual general transfer. Whatever is being done by the supporting staff in establishment and admin section for bringing out a fair and transparent and absolutely fair transfer orders, there had always been handicap felt, and we had to simply compromise here and there with some plus and minus to just get the order issued as fast as possible so that those who are placed in remote areas or in inconvenient places in and around Kerala could come to their choice postings, choice place of postings. But the fact remains, in fact, being head of the cadre control, I was not always feeling 100% satisfied with the kind of orders being approved by me or signed by the cadre control commissioners. So therefore a need was felt as to how to go about it and how to make it more transparent and hassle-free at the time of issuing transfers and postings. Of course, transfer and posting is not that important, but if you are not able to satisfy your own friends and family members being head of the department, I think I would say that I would be failing in my duties. So taking that spirit in mind, when Mr. Manish Kumar approached me that he wants to develop an app whereby he can consolidate all the history of postings, profiling of the officers, rather personal biodata of each and every officer in all grades in one place which could be accessed by anybody, just by click of a button. I said there cannot be any better app or IT initiative which could be taken up for Project Sadhit, which has been entrusted by us by CBIC. I immediately and vehemently agreed to include it as one of the items of Project Sadhit, and believe me, though I had all confidence in Manish Kumar and his team, but with humility I can say that I never imagined that it will come true within a period of just 3 months' time, and the product is as it is here before all of you. A big round of applause to Manish Kumar and entire team who had worked tirelessly, and all of you, in fact, those who had contributed to this particular app, which is not only going to help the administration, but believe me, it can keep on adding several other features like we are having in HR for Group A offices across the country. You can even place your deputation requests, loan requests, IJT, ICT, everything will be facilitated through this particular app, which will make everybody's life much easier, more than the administration. I wish after this app is launched and being used for AGT, the complaints or rather discomfort of the officers which occurs after the issuance of an order will get definitely minimized. So with these words, I wish all the good luck and congratulate from the bottom of my heart Manish Kumar and the entire team of officers who had helped the administration in bringing out this app. And I'm sure that once this app is brought to the notice of the CBIC as a whole, I think they are definitely going to issue some directions to all the commissionerates, entire country, to develop such kind of app or adopt this app for their own convenience. Thank you all. Now coming to the another initiative, wonderful initiative. We were having a joint meeting sometimes in the month of December with SGST Commissioner Dr. Kelkar. A lot of things were presented by both the sides. Of course, we had been getting requests from Commissioner State Tax to help them in developing capability of auditing, which they were always craving for since inception of GST. As we all know, Commercial Tax Department of State mainly deal with commodities, particularly trading of commodities. They were not much dealing with services, which are integral part of GST. So therefore they thought that the central knowledge of auditing for so many years in central excise and service tax sector could help them acquire some basic knowledge to start auditing in their own formations. We were just having a casual discussion, and then Dr. Tiju just offered that he has developed, or he is in process of developing an app which was already, initiated by him, which will definitely help not only state government officers in auditing, but the entire fraternity of central government CBIC as well. Then I got excited. I said, I happened to be in charge of audit for 2.5 years only in my entire career, and then about 9 months as ADG audit in DG audit. I felt the need of some kind of compendium, some kind of reference material, whereby the officers who are not that competent or competent in auditing always find difficulty when they go out to the field and go for auditing. What kind of issues to be looked into? Suppose I do audit as per my own knowledge and competence. What if I leave some points here and there which is much more relevant to a particular commodity or services? That kind of hesitation is always there in the mind of the auditors. Believe me, of course, there was no dearth of reference materials, but then reaching out to those reference materials is not that easy. If you happen to get some old officers in your contact, he will help you while auditing also. Sir, I have come across this point, so should I take or not take for this particular audit this thing? Always, some kind of inquisitiveness is there in the minds of auditors. So there was a big need of some sort of compilation, especially in electronic form, whereby sitting in any corners of the world, you can simply just click of a button, just click of an issue, and then find whether it is relevant or otherwise to your auditing capacity or not. So with this idea, when Dr. Tiju said that he wants to develop it on for the help of the department, of course, who will say no? Rather, I immediately grabbed this opportunity, and since Project Sadhit was already announced by the board, I thought, why not take this wonderful opportunity to include this particular app also into one of the items out of 5 items to show my performance for Thiruvananthapuram zone by adopting his half-done app. But yes, here also there were hesitations in my mind, because it requires a lot of efforts, lot of data, lot of reference materials, which would go into making it useful and user-friendly. So therefore, I had to set a very tough target to Dr. Tiju, what he has spelled out also in his speech. I'm not against anybody, but yes, I never thought of launching it by 31st of March, believe me. But here are we today celebrating the launch of even GST audit knowledge management app system, what he calls, and now we call Lekhasamhitha. Samhita is a collection of different informations relating to audit. That is how Lekhasamhitha, this name also is wonderfully coined by Dr. Tiju and entire team of officers who have helped him. convey my heartfelt gratitude to all of you, Dr. Tiju and entire team, for conceptualizing such kind of digital initiative and making the Thiruvananthapuram zone proud to launch it, not only for Thiruvananthapuram zone. Already lot of references are coming in that some app has been developed by your audit commissioner. Could I adopt it, or do you require some monies to be paid or something like that? I think all my commissioner audits have started approaching me. So, before it is launched, it has already acquired the desired success. As he has already mentioned, ADG audit from the headquarters of DG audit had already approached him. Everybody will come forward to help you if you do something great of this kind. So I'm really happy along with you. Of course, we are celebrating it too. These launch of 2 apps which have really revolutionized HR management system as well as audit management as together, there cannot be any better day to launch on 31st of March, which is end of the financial year, whereby we have achieved all the targets of revenue. We have achieved all the targets set for Project Sadit. There cannot be any wonderful day to just clap around and say, all good, hooray, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Now we have come to the end of this brief launch function. May I request Commissioner Audit, Dr. Tiju, to propose the vote of thanks.
Respected Chief Commissioner Shyamraj Prasad sir, Commissioner CCP Rajendra Kumar sir, Commissioner Customs Yusuf sir, Commissioner CGST Cochin Sri Manish Kumar, my dear colleagues in the department, as I said earlier, watching me offline as well as online. As our Chief Commissioner sir said just now, it's a great day for us today to launch 2 beautiful apps, very useful apps, not just for the Thiruvananthapuram zone, but for the whole of the CBIC. I would like to take 2 minutes of this time to recall the journey. What happened to GAKMS or Lekhasamhitha? We've been always finding during our MCMs that in one of the audit circles, when you go and audit a particular sector, you may get around 10 to 15 audit paragraphs. Whereas somebody else who go into the same sector may come back with just maybe 2 or 3. It could be because he is more compliant. But then when I found that even the same party having different offices in different places in Kerala, when we go for audit, we're getting different paras from different places, different types of paras from different places. So that gave us first spark that there could be a system developed for giving a checklist to the officers who could actually look at it and then have an idea as to what could be audited. It also happened every transfer time, every single transfer, when the officers come into audit of course is a specialized job. When they come into audit, the officers may not have worked in audit earlier at all. And it was very difficult for the officers to adjust, adapt to the environment and start auditing. We always had to request ADG, NASN for helping us out on some or the other training for the audit officers. And during the COVID period, And that was again a difficult proposition. That was when this idea of a compendium of knowledge or the paras organized in a specific manner was thought of. Then came the spark from the combined meeting of the SGST and CGST officers where we were discussing this issue. Let me tell you, this was just thought of, discussed, and was moving at a snail's pace till our Chief Commissioner said this has to be done on March 31st. We all know the basics of aeronautical science. Unless you are set on fire, you will not go great heights. We were told, we were given targets, and let me tell you, our entire team has worked large number of days, that too many odd hours, to get this done. Every single bug would, when it comes up, our officers would come up and say, there is a bug, we need to change it, cover it up. I still remember I'm taking Midil's name. Midil keeps coming up and saying, sir, this is a problem, we need to solve it. Every single person was interested to get this done. That was the type of enthusiasm our CC service instilled into us. Our additional commissioner, assistant commissioners, Rani would come and say, sir, there is a problem here. We need to organize it in this manner. Our officers, the main system thing is to organize the entire content into one mechanism, or into one order, because that is going to be used across India. So everyone sat on it, worked, and today is a happy day. Sir, though this is a small function to celebrate the success and to launch these apps, I would say, sir, this is a great success for the officers and for the department, all triggered from your side, sir. Being a part of the family, sir, in a formal you should not be thanking our Chief Commissioner, but for the sake of formality, everybody thanks in every single occasion. But this is not a formality. This has happened because of you, sir. So, sir, thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for the wonderful initiative and for coming and gracing the function, sir. The commissioners, Rajendra Kumar sir and Yusuf sir, as well as Manish, have come and graced the occasion. Manish has also taken initiative to do a wonderful job for the administration side. Thank you very much for the initiatives and for coming over here. Thank you. Thank you all the officers who have come in good numbers. Many of you who have come from different stations to witness the launch of the app and to discuss the nuances accordingly. Thank you very much for the great encouragement from your side. Thank you all the officers who are a part and parcel of these two apps. Thank you all the officers and friends watching us online and making this a great success. I would be failing in my duty, in my responsibility, if I do not thank the PRO section, and headed by, of course, by the Additional Commissioner Anwar and team, who have rehearsed this even for a few days to make this work flawlessly, to make it a great success. Thank you, thank the PRO team for the wonderful help that you've given us. Thank you. Thank you, Belinda, for the wonderful comparing. Thank you all once again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I request all of you to please stand for the national anthem. शुभाशिष भागे गाये तब जय गाथा जय गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे. Thank you all once again, and on behalf of the officers of the Central Tax and Central Excise Kochi, I invite all of you for the spread laid out for the high tea outside.